Together with Earle Sports Bets, yeah, the twins, they be checking in. Stacking up, green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. Just me today, as we have a decent amount of NBA action. I want to see like 10 games or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games in the NBA, 6 games in the NHL. So we have a decent card for today. But before we get into today's games, before we get into today's slate, quick recap of yesterday. And it was slight down 0.46 units yesterday. Annoying type of day, but like not bad. College basketball went, college basketball was strong, went 3-1. Miami of Ohio was a winner. San Diego State did not get the job done. Temple, 3-2. Temple minus 3.5. They lose outright to Tulsa. Baylor plus 6.5. They cover against Texas Tech. They lose by 2. Mount St. Mary's plus 4.5. They win outright. And then I had nothing in the NBA yesterday. The NHL was annoying yesterday. I had a three unit swing basically on a shootout, which was so annoying. St. Louis lost yesterday. That was kind of surprising there to the Pittsburgh Penguins, 5-3. Ottawa -1, -125. Glad that I was talked into fading the Bruins because I know people were shit talking me and saying that saying the Bruins are dead and now they're going to go on a winning streak. Nope. The Senators win that game 6-3. Unbelievably frustrating, that Tampa Bay game yesterday. I love it when I bet a game and the night before, and then they announce that it's the backup goaltender. And then I go ahead and take a team total over, and then about an hour before the game, they announce that their best offensive player is out because Nikita Kucherov was out with an illness last night. So, that was so frustrating to watch the two best players on the Lightning get ruled out or not play last night after I had bets on them. It pissed me off genuinely, seeing Kucherov not play last night and seeing Johansson in net in general. After you already have Tampa Bay bets, annoying there. And then San Jose -120 to end the night gets the job done. So overall, it was kind of a down the juice type of day. It's just annoying, frustrating. And a day that could have been way better if I would have won a shootout. The day would have been completely different, but it is what it is. We'll head over to the chat and then we'll get into today's games. What's good, ISX? There you go. What's good, Real Deal Prime? How are you doing today? But we will get it started here in the NBA. 10 games in the association. Starting off, Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Indiana Pacers. We have the Pacers 13.5 point favorites now. Just a pretty massive line here for a road favorite with Indiana. Line opened up 10.5, went to 11, 11.5, 12, 12.5, 13, 13.5. It's just been a constant move to the Indiana Pacers in this game here. Line opened up 229. It's now 231.5. So we do have a move towards the over here as well. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game here, where we have 54% tickets, 62% of the cash is on the Pacers. So the sharp money coming in on the Pacers makes sense that the line is moving towards them. The only question is, have we missed our line? And I'm going to go on the limb and say, yeah, I feel like if you wanted the Pacers, there was a 10, there was a 10.5, there was 11, there was 11. Like there was many other options of betting the Pacers at better numbers than you can right now. Here's the thing, though. I have no interest in Philly. Even at this inflated number, they've lost back-to-back games, 5 of the last 6. They've covered in 1 of them, and that was by the hook against Atlanta. They were 9.5-point dogs. They lost by 9. This is a bad Philadelphia 76ers team that is bet against or stay away. Pretty simple for me there. Am I going to lay this number with the Pacers, though? The answer is no. So it's going to be no play here for me. I guess it's Pacers or no bet because that's just the way it is. Way it is in the NBA. It's you look to fade Philadelphia or you don't bet them at all, or you don't bet the game at all. So yeah, for me, I'll start off with the pass here. I'm not interested. Philadelphia and Indiana. Supness, what's good, Lex? What's good, Lex? What's good, Nicholas Handy? How are you guys doing today? We'll continue on. We have the Boston Celtics taking on the Miami Heat. We have the Heat, or my bad, the Celtics 8-point favorites in this game, total 214. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here. Opened up at a 9, got all the way up to a 10.5, then it dropped from a 10.5 to a 10 to a 9, and then 7.5, then back up to an 8. So kind of interesting line movement there. Move towards Miami since the opening line. Line opened up 215. It's down to a 214. Trying to see if there was a reason why. It says Tatum's day-to-day. So is Brown. He's questionable for today. Horford is questionable as well. White is day-to-day with a knee. Porzingis is day-to-day with an illness. Would it shock me to see all of them sit out in this game? Not really. Let's take a look to see if there's some merit behind betting the Heat here. And I think there is. 77% of the tickets, 76% of the cash is on the Celtics, yet this line's moved towards Miami. I have a feeling we might see a game where potentially a few starters do not play for the Boston Celtics, and I don't think this will be an 8 come close. I think if these guys are ruled out, we could see this drop to 6, 5.5, 5, 4. I think we could see this line drop. I'm going to go ahead and take it here. I'm getting 8 minus 115 over on Bet365. I'm starting to see some 7.5s out there as well. I'm going to take Miami in this game, and I'm taking them also thinking that potentially we see a couple missing Celtics tonight, potentially. Taking a look at what Boston has done lately. They're coming in off of the loss against OKC. So generally, yeah, I like to back the Celtics after a loss. But this is it's not anything, not a bad spot or whatever there. They do head to Brooklyn after this tomorrow for a back-to-back. And the Miami Heat, this is the last game of a 5-game homestand where hopefully they'll win one. They played Minnesota, Chicago, Charlotte, and LA Clippers and lost them all so far. So maybe they look to play strong after losing the last 4. I'll take a shot here plus 8 with the Heat at minus 115. Would this help? Would this win help the Pacers? Absolutely. And let's take a look at the standings real quick in the Eastern Conference because it's a tight race, 4, 5, and 6. The Pacers are a half game behind the Bucks and a game and a half up on the Pistons. So, yes, this win would put them. Now, I don't believe Milwaukee plays today, but yeah, Milwaukee does not. This win would put them tied with the Bucks. Heat plus 8. Yep, I 100% agree. 100% agree here. But we'll continue on in this card. The Atlanta Hawks hosting the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers are 4.5-point road favorites, total of 233.5. Line opened up at a 5. Immediately went down to a 4 a couple minutes later, and they all actually got all the way down to a 3. Then it went back up to a 4. Now we're seeing 4.5. So since the opening line, it's been a slight move towards the Hawks. Line opened up 228.5. It's at 233.5 here in this one. Taking a look at the cash flow, 56% of tickets and 51% of the cash is on the Hawks. Making the line move towards them makes sense. 54%, 84% of tickets, 86% of the cash on the over here in this one as well. Atlanta coming in playing some good basketball as of late. They're currently 7th in the Eastern Conference. They're probably going to hold on to that 7th seed most likely. I believe they're a couple games behind the Pistons for the 6th seed. I don't see them really catching the Pistons there. They've won 4 in a row, though, against Indiana, Philadelphia, and Charlotte. On the flip side, we have the Clippers are coming in off of a 15-point win against the Miami Heat. Nice little bounce back for them after losing to the Pelicans. They have won 4 of their last 5 games as well. So this is 2 teams that are playing some pretty good basketball right now. And this Clippers team, and it's crazy the difference between these 2 teams, because the Clippers are a significantly better team record-wise. And they're a lower seed in the conference because of how bad these conferences are, the Eastern conferences, after when you get to the play-ins. But yeah, for me, ultimately, this is a no play. I don't really want to lay this number on the road with the Clippers. I don't really want the Hawks I don't really want the Hawks in this spot either, though. So pretty simple pass for me. I guess it's a lean towards Atlanta if I had to get involved with anything, but not a play I'm getting involved with here. Blackhawks killed a plus 60-1 parlay yesterday. Oh, I was on the Sharks. But yeah, ouch, that hurts. I like the Grizzlies today, UCLA money line and Illinois money line. I'm finishing up the college basketball numbers after the show, so I only have the first 4 games fully capped. So unfortunately, I don't really have much for college basketball to go over at the moment because I'm still working on those numbers. But yeah, Pacers race to 55, both halves, 10 even money. There you go. Hawks money line. Atlanta plus 4.5. Hawks home revenge spot. All right. UCLA. All right. Well, we'll move on to the next matchup here. The Spurs and the Hornets. We have the Spurs 2.5-point favorites in this game, total of 231. We backed those San Antonio Spurs in their previous game against the Dallas Mavericks. A nice little bounce back spot for them. Wow, this line has moved an awful lot, though. Telling me there's an injury involved in this game because it opened up at a 6.5, and now it's all the way down to a 2.5. So a massive line movement here towards Charlotte. Taking a look, we have let's take a look with the cash flow there. 42% tickets, 56% of cash on Charlotte. The line's moving towards them a lot. Both these teams had yesterday off. Charlotte off of a 123-110 loss against Atlanta, which snapped their 2-game winning streak and 3-game covering streak. San Antonio got the revenge against Dallas with a 126-116 win after losing to them the previous game. Let's take a look for injury-wise, because there's got to be something here. De'Aaron Fox is out. Is out for the rest of the season. That's not fun for San Antonio. That's probably why that line's moved as much as it has, because it definitely wasn't for Bassie, and Wembanyama has been out for a while. So that, I guess that kind of makes sense. At this number, I would only look Spurs. That would be the only way I can look now. At this low of a number, it would be Spurs or no bet. Just, do you want to get involved with a game like this where the lines move so much? Kind of. And this is a game I'll keep an eye out for. I'll keep an eye on the line. If I can get 135 with the Spurs on the money line, I'm going to do that instead of laying the 2.5. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one there. I'm going to write that down real quick. Spurs money line minus 135 or better. All right. I'm going to look to probably add the Spurs later if I can get a reasonable money line. Hornets first quarter money line. All right. Thanks, Lex. There you go. And San Antonio team total over. That's one way to do it. Hornets money line. Yeah, I'm going to see if it'll drop for me a little bit more. But we'll continue on. The Dallas Mavericks are taking on the Houston Rockets. The Rockets are 12-point favorites in this game with a total of 221. No surprise, the Rockets are just significantly better right now, and with all the injuries and all the stuff going on with the Mavericks right now, it kind of checks out. Line opened up at a 12, got up to a 13 for a cup of coffee, and then came back down to a 12. Line opened up 224. It's now down to a 220.5. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game, where we have, there it is, 61% of tickets and 69% of cash is on the Houston Rockets. Line's not really moving. 86% of tickets, 83% of cash is on the over here as well. The Houston Rockets are coming in off of their fourth straight victory, 111-104 against the Phoenix Suns. They've won and covered 4 in a row against New Orleans, Orlando, and Phoenix. So not the greatest competition, but they're starting to get their mojo back. They're starting to get things a little bit figured out. They're currently 5th in the Western Conference. The Dallas Mavericks are coming in off of a loss in their last game, 126-116. That was part of the back-to-back games, or with the day in between, but the 2 straight games that they played in San Antonio. They've also lost. They've lost 6 of their previous 7 games, 8 of their last 10. This Dallas Mavericks team is just plummeting out of a playoff spot right now, and they're currently 10th in the Western Conference. I'd be shocked if they make it to the play-ins at this point. I do think that this is going to be a little bit of a struggle for the Mavericks the rest of the season. Do I want to lay 12 points with the Rockets, though? Pretty simple no here for me. But am I trusting the Mavericks? At this number, it's probably Mavericks or no bet. But they have been just so untrustworthy as of late that I just don't know if I want to put my money on them. So this will ultimately be another stay-off spot for me, but it'd probably be Dallas getting the points or no bet. There's no home revenge for UCLA. They won 83-85. Fair. Hornets team total over. All right. MD should win. Line movement fishy as fuck. Iowa, Illinois should be. All right. Rockets big 3 are in, but do you take them under because they are not caring about covering, just winning? Wouldn't shock me, because when you look at the Houston Rockets right now, they're currently 41-25. They're the 5th seed in the Western Conference. They currently trail the Lakers by a game, the Nuggets by 2 games, and same with the Grizzlies. So they're only a game behind, and they're only a game behind the Lakers, and they're a couple games behind the teams they're chasing. So yeah, absolutely, Houston's just going to care about getting out of there with a win. So yeah, that's why I'm leaning Dallas plus 11.5, plus 12 range. I think that line is kind of telling a little bit. I think I actually want to move on Dallas plus the points in this game. I think this is a spot where Houston wins. They just want to get in and out with a win, though. So, yeah, I'm going to move on Dallas plus 12 on this game, minus 110 over on Bet365. I've talked myself into some Mavericks action here. Mavericks plus 12, minus 110, Bet365. We'll go ahead and move on them there. What's good, Gio? No, talking about yeah, all these are neutral sites. Yeah. What about the under 220 or the Mavericks team total over? I feel like if the Mavericks cover, it's an under, right? Offensively, they've really struggled since trading their players away, which is kind of a no-duh type of thing. So I guess if the Mavericks win, it's an under. That'd be my lean. We'll move on. Probably the best matchup of the day, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Memphis Grizzlies. The Cavs are 2-point road favorites with a total of 244.5. Let's take a look at the line history in this game here, where we have, let's see, this line opened up 2.5, got down to a 1.5, and back to a 2. So we have a line movement, it looks like towards Memphis. I want to take a look at what the money line's done as well. Line opened up 247, it's now 244. So we even moved towards the under here as well. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game. Oh, and no, I want to take a look at money line real quick first to see what type of how this line opened and how it's moved. It opened up at 125. It's now up to 135, 140 for Cleveland. So it looks like maybe that 2.5 was a little bit incorrect. But we do have 80% of tickets and 76% of the cash is on the Cavaliers. The line's not really moving towards them. And then 75% of tickets and 70% of cash on the money line on them. I don't blame people for taking Cleveland in this spot. I really don't. This team has forgotten how to lose. And the fact that this team is on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 game winning streak and they're only -1.5, and the public's all over them. This feels like Memphis wins this game. And I feel like that's what the line is kind of telling us, is that Memphis wins this game. And I'm going to go ahead and take Memphis in this game. I'm getting +2, it looks like, over on Caprotech. I'm going to see what I can get on my books, actually. Memphis, I'm getting +2.5, -110 over on Fanatics. I'm going to move on Memphis here in this spot. I think this line is telling us everything we need to know about this game, and that is that the Memphis Grizzlies are very, very live to win this outright. The books do not care about all the money coming in on the Cavaliers. So, yeah, sign me up for some Memphis action here. Memphis +2.5 for me. Technically, I Jedi mind tricked you into taking the Mavs full game cover, but Rockets cover first half. Yeah, which means you could probably get a good number on the Mavericks live at halftime. Yeah. It's been 5 games since Avs got even near that number. Oh, Cavs, yeah. I mean 6 games, yeah. Grizz don't play defense, but the Cavs do. Yeah. Seriously. So if Memphis wins or covers, that game is going to be going over 250. I definitely think so. I definitely think so. But I know a lot of people are going to not want to back the Memphis Grizzlies at this number because, I mean, it feels like the Cavaliers are just too easy. It feels like the Cavs are too easy. Cavs money line. Fair. We'll move on. The Orlando Magic taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. We have the Timberwolves 10-point favorites in this game. Total of 208.5 in this spot. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here. Where it opened up, wow, it's 7. Going up to an 8, up to a 9. Got all the way up to an 11 before it's come back to a 10. So a little bit of buyback here on the Magic once it got up to 11. But we'll now get up the cash flow for this spot where we have, there we go, where we have 47% of the tickets and 55% of the cash is on the Timberwolves. The line's moved toward them, but have we missed the line is the ultimate question because it's moved 3.5 points. 90% of the tickets and 86% of the cash is on the over here as well. The Minnesota Timberwolves are playing some good basketball now. They're finally starting to turn things around. 6 straight wins for them after their 10-point win in Denver the other night to give them that 6th straight win against Denver, San Antonio, Miami, Charlotte, Philly, and Phoenix. On the flip side, Orlando's kind of they're coming off of a nice win, Orlando, actually. 113-100-93 over New Orleans, which they've now won 2 of their last 3 games, all of them on the road. They get one more road game in Cleveland after this, which will be an interesting matchup there, which could probably be a Cleveland smash spot if the Grizzlies win tonight. So that's something to keep an eye out for. But for me in this game, not one I have any intentions on getting involved with. Minnesota Timberwolves probably win this game. Do they cover 10.5 though? I'm not going to bet to find out. So no action here for me. But I can see potentially fading the Magic against the Cavaliers in a couple of days. But yeah. Cleveland -2. Yeah, you're right. Grizzlies might win plus revenge spot. Yeah, the Grizzlies were part of the 15-game winning streak for Cleveland right now. Thoughts on 208.5 total? Feels very low, right? But public all over the over. I don't really mess with totals too much in the NBA. For me, I guess it's unders or nothing for when I'm betting totals. But I look forward to betting some unders in MLB. But I don't know many others. I mean, I don't mind unders in NFL and as well. But yeah, for me, it's a lot. I'm more looking at sides rather than totals right now. So I don't want to give out advice on things that I'm not really betting right now, and I haven't really been betting many totals this year. We'll move on to marquee matchup of the day, where we have the Toronto Raptors taking on the Utah Jazz. -2 for the Jazz, total 234.5. Line opened up at a 2, got up to a 2.5, back down to a 2, but a 5-cent line movement towards Utah. Line opened up 231, it's now 234.5. Gotta love a good old beautiful bum fight. We have 41% of tickets and 56% of the cash coming in on the Utah Jazz, and the lines move slightly towards them. 78% of tickets, 85% of cash is on the over here in this one as well. Kind of want to take a look at what the money line has done in this game because I'm kind of interested in Utah in this spot. Line opened up at a 130, it's now 135. Okay, so a slight move towards Utah here in this one on the money line. Taking a look at what these two teams have done as of late. Utah coming in really struggling. Losers of 7 in a row. They're coming in off of a 5-game road trip as well. They had yesterday off after losing their 7th consecutive game against Memphis. They lost every single game on their road trip there against Washington. They just played this Toronto team and they lost by 9, so maybe a little bit of a revenge here in this spot. They also lost to Philly, Boston, and Memphis. Toronto's coming in feeling good about themselves. Back-to-back wins, win 5 of the last 6. Their only game they lost by 1 point. But yeah, so you got a Toronto team playing much better. And we got a Utah team that's struggling hardcore, and Utah's the favorite. I think this is telling us that Utah is the play in this game. Minus 130 over on ESPN Bet. Sign me up. I'll take some Utah Jazz in this game. We get a little bit of a revenge spot because the Toronto Raptors just beat the Jazz in Toronto. Now I think we see it turn around and the Jazz beats the Raptors the Jazz beat the Raptors at home. So yeah, I'll go ahead. I think this line is telling us that the Jazz win in this game because when was the last time we've seen the Utah Jazz as a favorite? So that's something to keep an eye on as well. So for me in this spot, yeah, give me the Jazz money line minus 130 in this spot. Are you wearing the Astros hat? Good morning. Yes. Yeah, I'm rocking the Astros hat this morning. 207, begging you to take the over in the Magic. Hey, fuck the side in total. Take rebound props. Someone said Paulo. Yep. Panchero. You can see that. Utah team total over, but Toronto +2. That's interesting. So just take the over. Okay, so Jazz double result. Jazz first half and full game. I don't hate it. Oh, Lord. Yep. We'll continue on. 2 games remaining in the NBA before we move on to the NHL. Denver Nuggets, Los Angeles Lakers. We have the Nuggets 14.5 point favorites in this game. Total 229.5. This line's dropped though. It opened up at a 14, got down to a 13, got back up to a 14, up to a 14.5. Now we're seeing 13.5 here for those Denver Nuggets. Taking a look at the cash flow, we have 67% of tickets and 65% of the cash is on the Lakers. So the line moving towards the Lakers kind of does make sense with majority of the tickets and the cash on them, which generally when you see that with a dog is an easy way for me to stay away. These two teams just played less than a month ago. It was a 23-point win in Denver for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now they're going to come in, no LeBron in this game. I mean, this feels like a Denver smash spot. It truly does. Do I want to back the Nuggets at this number, though, is the question. Really, when it comes to it's moved to half a point towards the Lakers, but I don't think that's too much of an issue for me, considering that knowing 67% of the tickets are on the Lakers. So it kind of makes sense. We have a pissed off Nuggets team that, they're coming in off of a loss, the Nuggets. What do I want when trying to back big favorites? I want motivation. The Nuggets have the motivation in this game. And they also, the last time the Lakers came to town, it was a 23-point win. This feels like smash and grab with the Denver Nuggets. First half and full game. And I'm noticing more and more my card's getting pretty big here for the NBA. But I like this card the more and more I look at it. I'm seeing 13.5 minus 110 over on Bet365. 8 minus 8 minus 1 10 over on Caesars. So minus 8 minus 110 Caesars first half, minus 13.5 full game. I'm going to double up on Denver in this spot. I think this is a Denver blows them out of the building type of game. The Lakers, This is the second half of a back-to-back. They were in Milwaukee last night. Now they have to travel the Mile High. I think this is a terrible, terrible spot here for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I will double up on the Nuggets here in this spot, first half and full game. So that's where we're going in this one here. Nuggets, first half -8, full game -13.5. How's Tim doing? He's doing good. Isaacs, I definitely didn't autocorrect typo, jizz. Yeah. So Battle of the Europeans, Joker and Luka triple, and Nuggets cover 12. Yes. I mean 14.5. Yes. They're pricing the Lakers like the Wizards here, which here's the thing though. Yeah, but it's a terrible spot here for the Lakers. It is. It's a back-to-back. They're traveling into altitude after a game against the Bucks last night. Like this is, I mean, it's a short-term revenge for the Nuggets. Like everything for me, the public's on the Lakers. Everything correlates for me here that the Nuggets blow them out. So yeah, that's why I'm doing that. We're going to see Journey at the rodeo tonight. There you go. Last game on the NBA card, though, before we get into the NHL. We have the Phoenix Suns -3, total of 233 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this spot here, where we have it opened up at a 2.5. It's now a 3 for Phoenix. Line opened up 234.5. It's down to a 232.5. So we move towards the under here as well. Let's take a look at the cash flow. 60% of the tickets, 69% of the cash on the Suns. The line's moving towards them. So that all checks out there. And then 75% of the tickets, 69% of the cash on the over here as well. Let's take a look at the what these two teams have done as of late. Where we have, if this will click, that'll be cool. That's not what I wanted to click. Let's see. Come on. Where we have the Phoenix Suns. They're coming in off of back-to-back losses now as they lose 111-104 in their previous game against the Houston Rockets. They also lost to the Memphis Grizzlies, but they're back after a 4-game road trip. They will head to LA after this to play the Lakers, and they'll come back home to play Toronto on a third game in 4 nights. On the flip side, Sacramento, this is the second half of a back-to-back for them. They were in they were in Golden State last night and got beat down. So kind of interesting there. I have really no interest in the spot here. I really don't want to lay points with the Kings here or with the Suns here, but do I really want to back the Kings at this number in this type of spot? I kind of lean towards them just because they got embarrassed last night, but is that a good enough reason to go ahead and bet them? I'm going to go with the answer no in this spot. So ultimately, no play here for me to close out the NBA card. I feel like what I have right now is plenty good. So no play here for me. Oh my God, the line movement in the Avs Flames game. Oh boy, which we will get into. Some NHL now, where we have the Carolina Hurricanes and the Detroit Red Wings in this game. We have the Red Wings. Remember the Hurricanes -260 favorites. We're starting to see some 270s out there, 275s. In this game, total of 6. The Hurricanes are figuring it out. They've won 5 in a row against Calgary, Detroit, Boston, Winnipeg, and Tampa Bay. So they're looking pretty good as of late, and they've won 6 of their last 7 games. The only game they lost was to the Edmonton Oilers. On the flip side, Detroit's really fallen apart, but they got off the schneid in their last game there with a win against the Buffalo Sabres, 7-3. Nothing soothes the desperate need for a win like a game against the Buffalo Sabres. And for me in the spot, I mean, does Carolina win? Probably. Do I trust the Detroit Red Wings? No. I feel it's too expensive, obviously, to back Carolina here. It's definitely not a game I have a team I particularly have any interest in jumping in front of right now. They do hit the road after this game. They head to Philly. But for me in this spot, it's good enough for me to stay off in this game. So it'll be a pass for me. Just, I guess, I'll lean towards Detroit at this number. It seems pretty nice. Carolina looking to go for the 4-game sweep of their road trip. So there's that, but just too expensive here for me to back Carolina. And it would be dog or pass at this number, but just not one I'm going to get involved with. Canes have won 5 in a row versus the Red Wings. Yes, they have. The Red Wings have struggled against this Carolina Hurricanes team. Should the Wings win this one, I'd be happily surprised. I don't think it's very likely, but I mean, at plus 220, I mean, that's worth a shot. Thoughts on Michigan State, Oregon? I feel like that was one of the ones that I actually have. I have that game at a 5.5. Lakers have Luka and Reeves facing the true MVP. This isn't Russell Westbrook show out spot for one of his old teams. Then you have Jamal Murray. Yeah. Freddie Anderson is 12-1 versus the Red Wings. Nice. Canes team total over 3.5. Red Wings defense is weak. I don't even know if Freddie is starting. I want to say it's going to be Pyotr Kochetkov, but there's nothing confirmed quite yet. Let's move on. New York Islanders and Edmonton Oilers. I think this is where I would like to get my card started. Let's get into it here. We have the New York Islanders, or we have the Oilers around -135, -140 favorites, total 6 in this game. The Oilers are coming in off of back-to-back losses. They played last night. This is the second half of a back-to-back. It's not the third game in 4 nights, but this is their third road game. They get one more road game after this, where they'll head to MSG on the 16th, on Saturday. On the flip side, the Islanders are well-rested. Their last game was against the Kings, a 4-1 loss, where anything and everything went wrong in that game for the Islanders. They went 0 for 8 on the power play. They had a major penalty that was not called against the Kings. They had 2 goals taken away from whatever goaltender interference is these days. Like, anything that could go wrong did go wrong in the last game for the Islanders. And yes, I get it. The Oilers, this is another loss for them. They're just a team that's not playing good hockey right now. And I'm mad that I missed the opportunity to back the Devils again, as the Devils have now won 3 in a row since people started counting them out. And I think this is an Oilers team that they kind of struggle on the road, 17-13-2, so they're slightly above 500 on the road. The Islanders play better at home. You would think if they want to show any desperate nature in them, because as crazy as bad as the Islanders have been playing, I mean, this wild card race is still pretty tight. The Islanders have a game in hand on the Blue Jackets, and they are 5 points behind them. Granted, they would also need to pass the Rangers, and they need to pass the Canadiens, and they need to pass the Red Wings, and they need to pass the Bruins. And a win would get them a little bit closer to being able to do that tonight. And I do think that this is an Islanders team that we saw it last year. They went on a little bit of a run at the end of the year. I'm going to take the Islanders at plus 120. Is it my favorite play on the is it my favorite spot in the world? Not particularly, but we have a nice rested Islanders team. Probably pissed off on the way that road trip went, the way it ended. And even in their one win on that 3-game road trip, they were badly outplayed by the San Jose Sharks in that game, in that 4-2 win. Sorokin was just awesome in that spot. So for me, I think this is a spot where the Islanders, they're back at home, where they play better hockey. And we have potentially a tired Oilers team that's still on the road. This is a back-to-back for them. It was a hard-fought game last night against New Jersey. So I'm on the Islanders at plus 120 on this spot here. Islanders should take advantage of this back-to-back in Pickard. I would think so, yeah. Another show stats show the Islanders are crap when they are rested at home. Oh, okay. Isles money line and Jets money line. Isles reg and Jets puck line. All right. But the Isles should win in reg or win puck line. I mean, they're dogs though, so there's that. Draisaitl, 11 goals, 16 in 16 games versus the Islanders. All right, Island boys for the win. New York Jets lay. There you go. We'll move on. Fun matchup here as we have the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Dallas Stars in Winnipeg here, minus 125, total of 5.5 in this game. And this matchup, I mean, these are the top two teams in the Central Division. And we have these two teams, the last time they played was in December, so nothing crazy there. Winnipeg coming in off of a win in their last game, 2-1 over the New York Rangers, which was a nice little bounce back after they lost 4-2 to the Carolina Hurricanes. They will hit the road after this for more road action. And it's just been nonstop travel, actually. Looking at the Winnipeg Jets, it's kind of been annoying for them. The Blues in St. Louis, then they go home to play San Jose. In Ottawa, in Nashville, they go home to play Philadelphia. They go to Long Island to play the Islanders. Then they go to Philadelphia, to New Jersey, to Carolina, home to play the Rangers. This is the first time since the Four Nations break that they've played back-to-back home games, and they didn't need to travel to their next spot. And then after that, they go to Seattle, to Vancouver, to Edmonton. Like, they're giving them a lot of travel. And on the flip side, this is a well-rested Dallas Stars team. Their last game was on March the 9th. They were on a third game in 4 nights. They were on a second half of a back-to-back. It was a bad travel spot, and they beat the Vancouver Canucks 4-1. So kind of an interesting spot there for Dallas, where they were in a terrible spot, and they still got the job done. This is a game I would like to sit back and enjoy. I guess it's Dallas or no bet, because I think they're just playing better right now than Winnipeg, and you're getting a plus price tag to the more rested team. It's a rested team in Winnipeg as well. Their last game was on the 11th, so they had a few days off as well. It's a good sit back, relax, and enjoy the show type of game. Maybe an under 5.5, because I do think this could be one of those games where we could see a draw. We could see a 1-1, 2-2 type of game. I think this could be one of those hard-fought type of low-scoring matchups. So I lean Dallas, because in a close game like that, it would be a draw for me, or in a draw type game, it'd be dog for me. But yeah, it's a small lean towards Dallas here in this one. When I say puck line, I mean reverse puck line, of course. Yeah, I know. Stacey's mom, yeah. Dallas money line. Yeah, I would lean towards Dallas. By the way, I wanted to touch on that one real quick. It's been a minute. Stacey's mom has got it going on. There you go. Sorry, you mentioned it. I have to oblige. Yeah. Last time I heard about the Stars, it was that they are the only team left not to be shut out. Yes, they are the only team not to be shut out this year. The Dallas Stars. Would it be watch now? Let me lock in Hellebuck to get a shutout then. Milf Hunter, yes. Milk Hunter. Yes, got to find the milk. All right. Very true. Jason Robertson, 4 goals, 9 goals, 4 assists, and 13 games versus the Jets. There you go. They got the all right. All right. Oh my gosh. Rupe Hintz assist. Yeah, what good times. We'll continue on. The Colorado Avalanche minus 200 on the road here with the total of 5.5 in this game. It's now I'm seeing minus 225s out there with a total of 5.5. Now, we have the Calgary Flames. They're coming in off of a shootout loss in their last game. They were at home against Vancouver. They had yesterday off. They remain at home here against the Colorado Avalanche. We have the Avalanche coming in, having their 6-game winning streak snapped against the Minnesota Wild in their last game. It was a bad spot for them. It was a third game in 4 nights. It was a second half of a back-to-back, and it was a bad travel spot where they got into St. Paul at like 6 a.m. It was a really tough game for the Colorado Avalanche in that game against Minnesota. Now they've had a few days off to rest. Now, they're expensive. That's the one problem here back in Colorado. They're expensive because it's minus what? The best available number I can find is minus 225 and plus 120, which is going to lead you a minus 1 line of minus 148, which I just don't do, which means puck line would have to be the option, which I don't really like laying puck lines, especially on the road. And the one thing I've noticed is when I am laying puck lines, I'm not winning any of these puck line bets. Like the minus 1.5, they're either winning by 1 or losing outright. I haven't been able to. I got to take a look back. I think I'm like over my last 3 or 4 on puck line bets. So I really want to stay away from minus 1.5 puck lines because I just don't have that much success with them. But I don't want the Flames in this spot. I think the Avalanche are still bet on a little bit here. Even though, yes, I've faded them the last 2 games, but I think they were bad spots, or there was good angles against them the last 2 games. I thought there was value at the plus 2.5 with Chicago. I ended up cashing the first period plus 0.5, but losing the full game plus 2.5. And it was a terrible travel spot for them in the last game, the Avalanche. So for me, I would only look towards the Avalanche. Maybe you tie up the Avalanche with the Hurricanes, go for a little natural disaster parlay. But other than that, I mean, I don't really know how to get involved with the Avalanche at this number. I think the Avalanche take care of business in this spot, but not a game I'm going to get involved with. Let's see. Okay. Oops. Yeah. Are the Avs from 2 years ago? I think they are Stanley Cup contenders. I do. I know a lot of people are going to look at the Stars and the Jets and the Vegas Golden. I think the Colorado Avalanche represent the West in the Stanley Cup this year. Avs are 8-2 in the last 10 against the Flames. They look good against them, yeah. It's won 6 in a row. Yeah, that's why I like them here in this spot, but I can't lay that type of number. Flames money line and Ducks money line. Flames reg and Ducks reg, and the Duck Flame lay. All right. Avs minus 1.5. They've covered minus 1.5 5 of the last 6. They've been playing some awesome hockey as of late. Just knowing my luck, if I bet them on the puck line, they'll win by 1 in regulation or they'll win in overtime. Natural disaster parlay. Yeah. Hurricanes and Avalanches. Yeah. Rupe Hintz isn't playing. My bad. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. He's out. Yeah. But we'll move on here in this game, or for this card. I've only moved on the Islanders so far, and I don't know if I'm going to get involved with anything else. I want to take a look real quick. What is the odds on that? Real quick. Minus 225, minus 280, minus 104 for Carolina and Colorado 2-teamer. We'll see. Probably not. Nashville Predators, Anaheim Ducks. We have the Preds minus 130 favorites, total of 6.5 in this game. Let's take a look at the matchup here in this spot. The Ducks have been a little bit of a scrappy team this year, but they have struggled a little bit as of late. They've lost back-to-back games and 4 of their last 5 recently here, and they are on the 3rd game in 4 nights. Not a second half of a back-to-back, though, but they played on the 11th, the 12th, and now they get to play on the 14th. This is also, the 3rd game in 4 nights, the 4th game in 6 nights, the 5th game in 8 nights, and the 6th game in 10 nights, 7th game in 11 nights. It's been a lot of hockey for the Anaheim Ducks, and they will not get much rest coming up either because their next 3 games on the 16th, the 18th, and the 20th, so they'll just continue to play every other day. On the flip side, we have a rested Nashville team that's playing better hockey as of late. They've won 4 in a row against San Jose, Chicago, Seattle, and Boston. So they've played bad teams, but they've gotten wins against bad teams. And this is a Preds team that I do think can be, if they're starting to play better, I think they're more bet on than bet against. I'm trying to find what the best available number would be, 140, 170. So we get probably a decent score here on Nashville minus 1, plus 113. I'm going to move on them here in this spot. I think this is a more well-rested Nashville Predators team. And yes, this is a team I have fallen for plenty this year. Yeah. And for me, I'm going to back Nashville in this spot on the -1 plus 113. I think this is just. I think the Ducks need a break. I think the Ducks need a few days off, and they're just not going to be given that. And I think potentially during this road trip, because they are at home now, but they'll head to St. Louis, Nashville, and Nashville. St. Louis, Dallas, and Nashville after this. I think they could be good bet against. They could be a good bet against team, and this is where they eventually just fall off, lose a few games, and just like they're out of the playoff race completely. Like right now, there's like faint hopes with them. I think after this little road trip for them, it's not going to be faint hopes. It's going to be their poached duck, and then we move on. So I'm on Nashville on the -1 line at plus 113. I'm gonna take the Preds here. Get that plus money with the -1. If you want to take a shot, the puck line's plus 170. I won't talk you off of that either. But I think that this Anaheim team is bet against going forward a little bit, especially on this road trip, with as many games as they've played as of late. So yeah, for me, Nashville -1 here, plus 113. Matt Duchene over 1.5 shots, -122. Need 2 shots on goal. Yep. Ducks money line. Nice. Preds have Kings tomorrow. Okay. Nashville gets 3, 4, or 5 goals. I can see 4-1, 5-2, something along those lines. Yeah. I would lean towards I can lean towards a team total over. We'll move on to the final game on the card. We have the Utah Hockey Club taking on the Seattle Kraken. Utah -135 road favorites. We're starting to see some 140s. Are we starting to see the number climb there? Yes, we're starting. 140 is the best available number there over on ESPN Bet. We have Seattle coming in off of an overtime win in their last game. They beat the Montreal Canadiens 5-4, which I feel like that line was kind of telling. Well, the Canadiens were on a second half of back-to-back, and they were -155, the Kraken, and they won in overtime. Utah, they've received points in 4 straight, but they've only lost 2. They've only won 2 of the last 4. An overtime, a shootout loss against Toronto, an overtime loss against the Blackhawks. Previous to that, to a win in their last game against Anaheim. And for me, this would probably be Utah or no bet. But I feel like I'm okay heading into this card with Nashville and New York, and that is it. So ultimately, this is probably gonna be no bet for me. It'd be Utah -1 or nothing if I am betting this game. Seattle's still not a team I particularly trust, and this could be a desperate Utah team looking to push towards the playoffs in that Western Conference. Now, I do have Utah to make the playoffs. I do have Utah over their point total, which I don't think either of those are dead. Currently, the Utah Hockey Club are 2 points behind the Calgary Flames, with the Flames do have a game in hand on them. That's the problem, though. And they're tied with the Blues right now, and they do have a game in hand on the Blues. The Anaheim Ducks are now 8 points out of a playoff spot. And the Flames have a game in hand on them. The Flames have a game in hand on everybody chasing them right now. That's the one positive that Calgary has. I think they'll probably lose that, though. Actually, they won't lose that tonight because that they are playing, and so is only Utah is. So they'll lose a game in hand tonight over Vancouver and over St. Louis that are both not playing tonight. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. For me, I think I actually want to move on Utah because Utah still has something to play for. I want to back teams that have something to play for going down the stretch here a little bit. Utah -1. I think we're getting the same price, 140, 170. Yep. Same price, plus 113 as the Nashville Predators. So yeah, same price here. Utah -1 plus 113 here against the Seattle Kraken to close out the card. Poached up. Does that mean good or bad? Poachers are bad. I assume as a noun is bad. Poached duck. It's a dish. I just saw that. LOL. I didn't look back the potential back-to-backs Friday, Saturday, and tonight's games. Yeah. The Ducks have been playing an awful lot of hockey. But that is everything for today's card. If you guys have not already, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications so you guys are notified each and every time we are live here at ESB. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Want to thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow with another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Good luck, everyone.